Multiplication using the grid method with bigger numbers. This is exactly the same as using the grid method in the video before this. So for this time I've got bigger numbers. For example, in this question I'm doing a 2-digit number times a 2-digit number. Notice on this how my grid then becomes 2 across by 2 down. That's the only difference. So let's start answering this question. First of all, in the first box I've got 20 times 30. So 20 times 30. Be careful when you're doing this. So I'm going to split my units up. I've got 2 times 3 is 6, times it by 10, times it by 10 again. I'm then doing 30 times 5. So do my units first. 3 times 5 is 15, times it by 10 is 150. Bottom left, I'm doing 20 times 4. So I'm doing the 2 times 4 is 8, then times it by the 10 is 80, and the next one is 4 times 5, which is just 20. The next step is a step where normally people make mistakes. When you're adding your numbers together, you need to be really, really careful with your place value. That's the main problem. So automatically I know that my biggest thing is the hundreds. So I'm going to go 100, tens and units. Now I'm going to start putting my numbers in. So I've got 600, 150, 80 and 20. This is now my add. First step. Look at my units column. All zeros, so 0 at the bottom. If I look at my tens column, I've got 5 tens, 8 tens and 2 tens. This makes 15 tens. We should remind ourselves, if I've got 15 tens, that's the same as 150. 15 tens, 15 times 10. Well, I can put the 5 in my tens column, but then I need to carry over my 100 into my hundreds column. Now in my hundreds column, I've got 600, add 100, add the 100 I carried over, which makes 800. So my answer to 25 times 34 is 850. Let's have a go at another one together. This time I've got an even bigger number. I'm doing 452 times 32. Notice 3 digits, so 3 across, by 2 digits, so 2 down. When we start working with really big numbers, you need to be really careful not to make mistakes. So work very carefully. 400. Let's just do that in one colour. So we've got 400 times 30. So that equals 12,000. My next box, I'm doing 50 times 30 because that's where they meet. And my answer to that is 1,500. Then doing 30 times 2, and my answer to that is 60. Look at the bottom now. 400 times 2 is 800. 50 times 2 is 100. And 2 times 2 is 4. Now let's start adding these together. Remember, what's your place value? My biggest number is 12,000. So I've got to make sure that I've actually got tens of thousands, thousands, hundreds, tens, units. Now I put my numbers underneath. 12,000, 1,500, 60, 800, 100 and 4. Remember to be really careful. This is the place that we make mistakes. Look at my units column, 4. My tens column, 6. My hundreds column, 14. 14 hundreds is 1,400. So I'm carrying over my 1,000. 2,000 add 1,000 add 1,000 is 4,000 and 1 tens of thousands. So my answer is 14,464. See how I've put my comma in after my thousands? This just helps us to visualise it a little bit better when reading it. There are now 2 questions on the board. Pause the video and have a go at these yourself. The first question we're going to go through is 72 times 25. Grid's being drawn for us. 70 times 20 is 1,400. 70 times 5 is 350. 20 times 2 is 40. 2 times 5 is 10. Then, being careful, I've got thousands, hundreds, tens, units. Be careful with your place value. 1,400, 350, 40 and 10. Adding these up now. 0. Remember, I've got 10 tens, which is 1,000. So I'm carrying, 10 tens, which is 100. So I'm carrying over my 100. 4 and 3 and 1 is my 800. My thousands. My answer is 1,800. On the second one, it's a little bit harder because you've got to draw the grid yourself. I know my grid is a 3, it's a 3-digit number, by 2. Start by drawing my grid. Split it into place value. Now I can start multiplying. So the first thing I'm going to multiply 300 times 80. Second thing I'm going to multiply 60 times 80. 80 times 5. 300 times 5. 60 times 5 and 5 times 5. Now adding using my place value. 24,000, 4,800, 400, 1,500, 300 and 25. Start adding. Look at my units column, my tens. Then I'm looking at my hundreds column. That adds up to 20. So 20 hundreds is 2,000. So carry 2 over into your thousands column. Then I add up my thousands column. I've got 4,000, 4,000, 1,000, 2,000. So I've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 11,000, so I carry that into my 10,000 and put that there. So I'm at 11,000, and then I've got 3 there. So my answer is 31025. To help us read this, it's 31,025.